Welcome to this special edition of Scoreboard for My Fountain Online. I'm joined with Kendall Myers. If you were Coach Williamson, how would you fix the recent drug problem with the UCA basketball team, because they've had 4 recent suspensions all dealing with marijuana-related issues?
Well, I mean, I know that something like that is hard to fix. You just need to sit your players down and talk some sense into them and let them know that you have to be more responsible, more adults, and because all it is a lack of character on their part and maturity. So I feel like if Coach Corliss sits them down, lets them know, because I mean, with them already being with pretty much their warning of being suspended for 2 games, I mean, I'm sure the next step is going to be suspension. So I mean, I feel like if Coach Corliss nails that in their head to make sure they don't do something as stupid as this again, then they should be fine. But I'm anxious to see how it's going to carry over to the offseason on the type of guys that he wants to bring into his program and recruit.
Yeah, I think what he's doing right now is pretty good. A 2-game suspension for your first offense, I think that's about right. But after that, if they do it again, I figure no matter how important to the team they are, I think you just got to kick them off, because they're looked at as role models from in the stands, from these children. They look at them and they ask why they're suspended. Their parents are going to tell them why, and they're going to lose respect for them. And they got to realize that there's a bigger picture to all this than just doing this for recreational purposes. And I'm not saying whether this is good or bad, but it is illegal. It's an illegal drug, so you have to realize that and take responsibility and live up to being your role model that the kids want you to be. I think that's the way they got to see it. And we've seen in the past, collegiately and in professional football and basketball, everything, we've seen coaches have to kick players off the team for these types of reasons. And one in particular that I like is Les Miles. He kicked off Tyrann Mathieu, arguably the best player on his team, and he did that, and I earned a lot of respect for him, because that's your best player on your team, and you're setting a great example by kicking him off for these reasons, and you're really teaching the kids, this is not something you need to do. If you're going to focus on football, not on drugs. And I think that Coach Corliss Williamson can really take a lesson from that, and whether it's Jarvis Garner, who we hope it's not, but if he does it again, I think really Coach Williamson's got to release him from the team, even though he is one of his best players, and that goes for the other 3 as well. If you do it again, I figure if I'm Corliss Williamson, I go ahead and release them and set an example for everybody else.
Right.
And for the last conference game of the regular season, UCA will take on Oral Roberts this Saturday in the Ferris Center. What do you think are UCA's chances to win this game?
I mean, Oral Roberts is a good team. They're ranked number 3 right now in the Southland Conference, but UCA is playing very good basketball, way better than what they've been playing for this past pretty much earlier this month. So I do feel like this game will be closer. They were blown out last time at Oral Roberts, 65-94, but I feel like UCA is a whole nother team than when they played them, and I feel like they have a good chance of even winning, with Oral Roberts kind of coming in here maybe playing not to their opponent's level, with them already kind of having their seed locked into the Southland Conference. And I mean, with the last game, the Big 3 didn't have a good game at all. They had 34 points combined, and I mean, that's just not what you're used to seeing, especially with Robert Crawford. He only had 8 points in that game, and he's a totally different player, and the same as the Bears are. And I mean, I think this is just a different team right now, and I feel like they have a very good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, I'm going to give them about a 50-50 shot here. I think it could really go either way. Oral Roberts is a very, very similar team to UCA, with 3 of their players in top Southland Conference scoring. I mean, that's almost identical to what UCA is, because they're the only 2 teams to have that. And I think that Oral Roberts, like you said, they have their seed locked in. They're within the top 3 bunch of the Southland Conference. They're not really moving anywhere. UCA, on the other hand, has a chance to really turn this season around. We've seen ups and downs of this season. Started great, and then they kind of went into a valley of losing streak. But now they're back, and I think that this game can really make the difference between them doing well in the Southland Conference or going out in the first round. And Oral Roberts is coming off a win versus Lamar, which we expect, but they also are coming off a 56-54 loss against McNeese State. And like we said earlier, UCA beat McNeese State recently. That's got to give them a little bit of confidence boost and maybe attack Oral Roberts' vulnerability there a little bit. So I think UCA does have a good chance. I'm not going to just go outright and say that they're going to win, because it is Oral Roberts. They're in the top 3 in the Southland Conference, and they blew UCA out last time. So there's not really any telling what's going to happen in this game, but I definitely think it'll be close. And thank you for watching this edition of Scoreboard for My Fountain Online.